Howdy y'all, I'm back Curtis. Gonna do another knife review. Not the knife review I was gonna do. Rainy weather and everything. Dad and I ain't had time. I've been having my time took up by other things, which I'm trying to straighten out. Gonna have more time to get back in the woods and everything to do a review on my it's a timber rattler gator hunter, I think's what it's called. It was actually given me by one of my close friends, and I want to do a review on it. But this one's on the Crkt Fossil. This is my everyday carry. It stays in my pocket, and it's set up on a bearing system. This is not spring assisted. There's no spring in here. There's actually bearings that go in the handle that let the blade flip out, and it is smooth. Like, the thought that went behind this knife was ingenious. I love this knife. I just sharpened it, just cleaned it up. This thing has a lot of miles on it. The tip I had to redo. Kind of locked myself out the house, and I used it to to break into my house, and I bent the tip a little bit. And instead of trying to straighten it out and taking away from the integrity of the tip, I just ground it down and I redid the tip, period. And gave it more of a slope tip for what I use it for, especially for, skinning, filleting a fish, all kinds of purposes for the reason why I ground that tip more rounded than coming out like it was. It's more suitable for the purposes I use it for. And it's also a little bit better for defense as well. But that's not something I talk about on here. Anyway, put my cigarette out real quick. To go over this knife, it's like a solid aluminum handle. I'm not 100% sure what the scales are made out of. They almost feel like a micarta. But I put a lot of miles on this knife, and it has never failed me, like ever failed me. As for, like, I ain't even putting pressure. That's just, like, if you can see, I'm using 2 fingers. This thing is a razor. The edge that this knife will hold is ridiculous. That right there shows for itself the spine, the quality of the metal. Like I said, everyday carry. It'll throw some major sparks off a ferro rod. I don't always have my ferro rod on me, but normally if I know I'm going out or if I'm going to be close to the woods or whatever, I have a ferro rod on me. But I'm also a smoker, so I always have a lighter. But this is going to last way, way beyond anything a big lighter will ever last. But we're not talking about outdoor survival. We're talking about this knife. These knives retail for around like $40, which a bit pricey, a bit pricey for a pocket knife. At least in my mind, it's a bit pricey for a pocket knife. I ain't rich, but I ran across this one on sale. I think I paid like, I think it's like $25-$30, which is still a little bit more than what I'm used to paying for a pocket knife. I'd pay the $40 though. After having this knife for as long as I have and put it through what I've put it through, I'd spend $40 on this knife all day long. Like I said, that bearing system, you ain't gonna worry about that spring going bad or any of that. And when you do take it apart, put it over top of a bowl. Just take a bowl, take out your screw, take your scales apart, clean everything out, oil it up, slap it all back together, and I'm telling you, that's fast. Like, I've had spring assisted blades that don't open that fast, that regular. The spring starts weakening, it starts moving out slower, it ain't as reliable. That right there, I've had this knife for well over a year, and I've never once not been able to just smack that back and it fucking fly out like that. It's very reliable. Very well built, well thought out knife. I give it many props. Because, like I said, that's my ADC. This is my everyday carry. I don't leave the house without this in my pocket. Very well built knife. Got a little bit of weight to it too, so you know it's solid. It's got jimping on the back. It's got jimping on the flipper. One of my favorite parts about this is the finger groove right here. When you get your finger under it, that way, no matter what pushes down on the back, it ain't catching your finger. It's got jimping on the back of the blade itself for a nice grip. And you can see just the hammer of the blade. Beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. So yeah, if I was going to rate this knife, 5 out of 5, I'd give it all 5. I'd try to give it 6 if possible. Because to me, the fact that this dips and it's a straight 90 and will throw sparks the way it does, that's beautiful to me. But yeah, I'm not going to keep talking and waste y'all's time. But if you run across a deal, or if you have the extra 40 bucks and you're looking for a good, dependable knife, I'm telling you, I'm not rich by any means, but I'd throw the 40 bucks on this knife. It's been a very, very good knife.